My name is Bill Goff. If you're new to this website, welcome. If you're a subscriber, welcome back. This video will be a three-part series on how I make a flower box for a gnome house. This will be part 1 of 3 that will cover the part of actually making the flower box. Part 2 will cover how I make the flowers to put in the flower box. And part 3 will cover how I paint the flowers for the flower box. This is a picture of the gnome house that was used in the original demo. If you haven't watched it, you can click on it. It's titled How I Made My First Gnome House from Beginning to End, and see in detail how it was made. Here's a picture of the finished flower box shown on the gnome house. I've drawn a window on this board. For the purpose of this video, we'll assume this is a window on a gnome house. I've fast forwarded to the areas of repetition to try and keep the video short and less boring. Next, I want to draw in the shape of the flower box, getting it ready to cut. I want the sides tapered as well as the front. At this point, I'm going to take it over the bandsaw and cut it out. Here I start by cutting out the shape. I want to taper the sides. I keep whittling here and there, and just put the taper in. Put the taper in the other side. Just keep whittling away. And kind of put the taper in the front. And it's starting to take shape the way I want it. Put a little more taper in the bottom. And it's not looking too bad. Do a little more trimming and take it over to the belt sander to smooth it up. I'm not a purist. I don't always use a knife to carve. I use whatever tool I have to make the job easier and quicker and end up with the results that I'm happy with. Here I'm just smoothing up the rough edges, tweaking the shape, sanding a little bit off the corners, just making it look like a flower box. I think that's starting to look pretty good. I think I can be happy with that. Okay, I think I'm done here. Here I'm penciling in the area that I want to cut out for the flowers to set in. Just penciling in years from now. They're not going to ask, was that gnome house cut with a knife? They don't care. They're just going to enjoy what you've done. Now I'll use my grinder to hollow out the area that I penciled in. This grinder has a Dremel cutting tip that I'm going to use to clear out the area that I want to put the flowers in. I just kind of keep working it until I get it down to the lines that I made. With my finishing knife, I'll square up the corners. Okay, now I'm getting ready to attach the flower box itself to the gnome house, in this case the demo board. I'm just going to use the wood glue. You can use epoxy or something to dry a little faster, but I like wood glue because it holds over the years. Now I'm just going to let the glue cure. This will conclude part 1 of 3 of how I make a flower box for a gnome house. Part 2 will show how I make the flowers to fit in the flower box. And part 3 will show how I paint the flowers for the flower box. I want to thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed the video and got some ideas, if you would hit the subscribe and the like button, it would help the channel and it would be appreciated. I want to wish you happy carvings, and may God bless.